Amongst the following, the hydrolytic desizing agents attack starch at alpha 1,4 glucosidic linkage, 6-membered ring, hydroxyl group or carboxyl group. So you need to know about the hydrolytic desizing agents. How these hydrolytic desizing agents attack. This is a chemical processing question. Now the chemical processing weightage is also on the higher end. So you need to know about the basics of these chemical processing questions before attempting all these questions, because in every year gate these types of questions are asked. Means this is a desizing question, starting with the singeing, desizing, mercerization, bleaching, then scouring and all these pre-treatment process, and further dyeing, printing and finishing process. This is the entire chemical processing segment. You need to be totally aware of which type of chemicals are used, what is the pH of that particular process, and what is the temperature, what is the ml ratio of the components that are used in a particular process. So these types of questions are very much asked in the current depending upon the current scenario of the GATE examination. So you need to prepare it accordingly. So now coming to this question, it says that the hydrolytic desizing agents attack starch. If you have read, then it attack at alpha 1,4 glucosidic linkage, which is basically the primary linkage in a starch that connects the glucose units in a linear chain. And whereas in case of enzymatic desizing agents such as amylase, these also work by hydrolyzing the alpha 1,4 glucosidic linkage in the starch. So these are basically attack at this glucosidic linkage only. So option A is the correct option. I think it is clear. Now coming to the next question, it says that in resist print style of printing, the preferred arrangement for dyeing is in case of this type of printing. So if I talk about printing process, so basically there are different types of resist style, discharge style of printing, and all other cases of this. So every arrangement, the arrangements are also different depending upon the styles of the printing that is used. So if I talk about all these things in detail, then the preferred arrangement for dyeing, basically if I talk about this, then we say that the fabric is dyed in a khaki dyed manner, on first dyed fully, then it is printed, and depending upon the resisting agent that is used on that portion only, that would not be printed, and rest can be printed. So what is the arrangement of dyeing? So it is done by nip padding. If you have if you know about the nip and dip type of method, the fabric comes from here 3 nip 3 dip process. So this is the type of arrangement that is used in case of resist printing. What actually happens in nip padding, the fabric is passed between two rollers, with one roller applying the pressure to the fabric. Why it applies the pressure? To ensure that the penetration of the dye and the resist agent is even, and there is not any unevenness in the fabric. So in case of resist printing, the resisting agent is applied to the fabric before it is passed through the nip rollers, and the fabric is passed between the two rollers, and this roller presses the fabric, so to ensure that the levelness is maintained on the fabric. So it is done by nip padding process. I think it is clear. So option B is the correct answer. Now coming to the next question, it says that in a flame retardant finishing of cotton, the correct statement is or are: the finishing material forms an insulating layer around the fiber at a temperature above the fiber pyrolysis temperature. So this is pyrolysis temperature Tp, and the finishing material forms an insulating layer around the fiber at a temperature below the fiber pyrolysis temperature, and the finishing material cross-links cellulose and alters the pyrolysis route. The finishing materials dehydrate the cellulose. If you know about the FR finishing, means flame retardant finishing of cotton, so this flame retardancy is used in many protective textiles as well, where the objective is that it does not catch fire and it should be retardant. So there are many compounds that are used for flame retardancy. So what actually is the mechanism for flame retardancy? In FR finishing of cotton, the material forms an insulating layer, if you know, around the fiber at a temperature below the pyrolysis temperature. Why? Because to prevent the fabric from further burning, and it can also cross link and alters the pyrolysis route, because so as to improve the fabric's resistance to ignition, means that it should not catch the fire and flame is spread, and the flame should also not spread around this. So and also during this process the dehydration of the cellulose occurs, means the cellulose get dehydrated into different components, and in this way, this is the exact mechanism. The objective is ki the temperature is below the pyrolysis temperature, so it should not burn and catch fire, and should not the flame should not spread. So what are the correct option? Option B, below the temperature, option C, and option D. These are the correct option. Option B, option C, and option D are correct. I think it is clear to you. So these are multiple type of questions. If you see these multiple type of questions, then there are three options correct. Now this textile part, these multiple type of questions did not come very much in earlier earlier years, but in this particular year there were many multiple type of questions, but there is no negative marking. Rest in all other cases, in objective type where only one option is correct, then there are 1/3 negative marking, and in numerical answer type questions there is also no negative marking as well. This question says that a cotton fabric to be dyed with a 2% shade on the weight of the fabric, if the dye concentration is 0.4 gram per liter, then the material to liquor ratio is 1:x. The value of x in integers is, this is a 2-mark question of chemical processing. And how we will need to solve this question? You have to see this as a NAT type question in which there is no negative marking. It says that shade is 2% shade. 2% shade on the weight of fabric. So if we suppose let the fabric weight is 100 kg, so what is the weight of the dye? Dye weight is 2 upon 100 into 100, means 2 kg is the dye weight. And we say that for 2 kg dye liquor in 100 kg of fiber, then the concentration is given as, concentration is 0.4 gram per liter. .4 gram in 1 liter of liquor. So for 1 gram it is 1 upon 0.4 liters. So if we say that for how many things we have to calculate, then we can say that for 200 gram dye, the dye liquor is 1 upon 0.4 into 2000 liters. 5,000 liters. So for 100 kg fabric, liquor weight is 5,000 liters. But M/L ratio is 1:x. So M/L ratio is 1:x means material to liquor ratio. So if the material is, we say that the fabric weight is 1 kg, then what is the weight of the liquor? Since we can say that for 100 kg fabric weight, liquor weight is 5000 liters. So for 1 kg weight, the liquor weight is 5000 upon 100 liters. So if we see, then it is 50 liter. So what we have to calculate here in this question was the value of x in integer. So the value of x is basically liquor. So the liquor is totally, so x is basically 50. This is the right answer. So you have to calculate it accordingly. I think it is clear. It says that it is a chemical processing question. If I say about determine the correctness or otherwise of the following assertion and reason. It is MgCl2 is used in the formulation of anti-crease finishing of cotton fabric with DMDHEU. And MG's reason says that MgCl2 is an acidic salt and acts as a catalyst. So DMDHU, dimethyl hydroxy, you have to remember the cross-linking agents that are used in the anti-crease finishing of cotton fabrics, and DMDHU is a very famous agent used in this anti-creasing for cotton fabric manufacturing. So if I talk about this is a mechanism based question. So basically, what is the use of MgCl2? MgCl2 is basically a catalyst that is used in the process for anti-creasing finishing of the cotton with the DMDHU. DMDHU acts, reacts along with the cotton and helps in anti-creasing. Anti-creasing. It is a very popular anti-creasing agent that is used. So what basically is the role of catalyst? Catalysts help in the reaction. They do not directly participate in the reaction, but they either increase or decrease the rate of the reaction. So MgCl2 is used as a catalyst in this process, promoting the cross-linking reaction between DMDHU and cellulose fibers. DMDHU and cellulose fibers that results in improved wrinkle resistance or anti-crease resistance of the fabric. So both these MgCl2 is basically a acidic salt. Why acidic? Mg 2 plus and Cl plus 2 Cl minus. So this is an acidic salt. Acidic salt due to the reaction, if I say Mg exists in plus 2 state, and it acts as a catalyst in the reaction. So both these things are correct, and this this reason is the correct, R is the correct reason for assertion. I think it is clear. So option A is the correct answer. Now coming to the another assertion reason question. So these in this time there are many assertion reason questions that are asked in the GATE examination. It says that a partially scoured cotton fabric bleached with H2O2 exhibits higher water absorbency than bleached with NaClO2, and bleaching with H2O2 also facilitates scouring. So which statements are true and what is the correct reason for assertion? You have to find it out. If I talk about absorbency, so water absorbency of the cotton fabric is higher when it is bleached with hydrogen peroxide. So H2O2 is a universal bleaching agent. If I talk about universal bleaching agent, when compared to NaClO2, as hydrogen peroxide is a universal bleaching agent that helps in the removal of impurities and it also increases the water absorbency of the fabric. So and H2O2 also facilitates in the scouring process, where all these oil, fats, waxes are removed from the fabric, and this one process facilitates the other process. So both these statements and reason are correct, and this R is the correct reason for assertion. So option number A is the correct answer. I think it is clear and easy. So you have to understand what are the different types of bleaching agent, which is the universal bleaching agent, and what is the purpose that is being used for. So here H2O2 is a universal bleaching agent that also facilitates bleaching as well as the scouring action at the same time. So you do not have to do it again and again. And this also exhibits higher absorbency as compared to the other things. So it is with reference to the Kawabata and fast system in the chemical processing. You will have to remember, basically not in chemical processing. You read these terms in textile testing as well. Testing, you read all these things basically. So it says that KES everyone, what are the with reference to these both systems, the same low stress mechanical property is measured by which of the fast systems and which of the Kawabata systems. So you know that this is a direct theoretical question, and it must be understood by you all that low mechanical stress properties, when you read these all these properties, then you will understand that KESFB2 and KESFB3 deals with these things, and the fast systems that are there for this is fast 1 and fast 2. Fast 1 and fast 2. KESFB1 and KESFB2. So option number 2 and 3. So option FB2 and FB3. So I think you will have to remember this, that option number B and option number C. So this is the right answer. This is the multiple type of question. Option number B and option number C is the correct option, and these two are different testing systems which are used to measure the mechanical properties of the fabric. Mechanical properties of the fabric. So this is important. Now coming to the next question, it is of chemical processing. It says that a sample of cotton fabric is dyed with wet dye at 60 degrees Celsius till equilibrium dye uptake is reached. Another sample of the same cotton fabric is dyed with the same dye at 90 degrees Celsius till equilibrium, keeping all other parameters same. Among us the following, the correct statement is or are. The dye exhaustion at 90 degrees Celsius will be higher as compared to that of 60 degrees Celsius. Dye exhaustion at 90 degrees Celsius will be lower as compared to that of 60 degrees Celsius. Levelness at 90 degrees Celsius will be higher as compared to that of 60 degrees, and levelness at 90 degrees will be lower as compared to 60 degrees. In these questions, when you read the question simply, then you will understand that correct options are, two options will be correct. One is the two concepts that are asked in this question is about the exhaustion and about the levelness of the fabric. So if I talk about at equilibrium, then if you increase the temperature, then it leads to the reduction in the dye exhaustion after the equilibrium. Till equilibrium, after once it is saturated, then as we increase the temperature, the dye exhaustion is lowered. So at 90 degrees Celsius, around wet dye is dyed around this temperature. After, as you increase the temperature, the dye exhaustion will then be lowered. So the dye exhaustion will be lowered at 90 degrees Celsius. So, but as you dye exhaustion means how much dye gets exhausted into the fabric, and levelness is how much dye is leveled. Leveled means how much dye is basically fixed upon this thing. So, if I talk about this, then the levelness at 90 degrees Celsius is higher as compared to that in at 60 degrees Celsius. So option number B and option number C is the correct answer. So I think this is clear to you. So, as increasing the temperature will result in the decrease in dye exhaustion, and increasing the temperature will result in increasing the levelness of the fabric. So as the dye temperature after the saturation, if the dye temperature is increased after the equilibrium, if dye temperature is increased, then the exhaustion is lowered and the levelness is increased. You will have to remember this. So option number B and C is correct. Coming to the next question, in pigment printing of cotton fabric, the pigment along with the binder can be fixed using saturated steam at 102 degrees Celsius for 4 minutes, dry heat at 140 degrees Celsius for 4 minutes, dry heat at 60 degrees Celsius for 4 minutes, and superheated steam at 180 degrees Celsius for 4 minutes. So, if I talk about the common method used for fixing pigment in the cotton fabric is using the dry heat process. Dry heat process is basically used for fixation onto the cotton fabric, and the in this pigment printing, pigment does not have the affinity for the fiber for the fabric. So it is fixed with the help of the binder, because without the binder it did not have any affinity. It will not fix onto the binder. So the correct temperature and time is also required for fixing the pigment. It depends upon the type of the pigment in the binder as well as the type of the fabric. So in case of cotton, generally the temperature that is taken is around 140 degrees Celsius, and the time is taken as 4 to 5 minutes. So 4 to 5 minutes is taken as time, and this is suitable for fixing the pigment onto the fabric. 3 to 4 minutes or 4 to 4 minutes around it is taken. So the correct option is option number B. Dry heat at 140 degrees Celsius for 4 minutes. So option B is the correct option. It is a chemical processing pigment printing process. So printing, dyeing, finishing, and pre-treatment. So if I summarize this chemical processing segment into this broader aspects, then there are 2-3 broader aspects that you need to remember as far as chemical processing is concerned. So first one is the pre-treatment process, in which singeing, desizing, bleaching, scouring, mercerization processes are concerned. Then the other one is dyeing process, dyeing with natural dyes, acidic dyes, synthetic dyes, other processes. And then the printing part, printing with screen printing, roller printing, pigment printing, and other things, so on and so forth. Then the finishing part. Finishing is also a very important part of the textile chemical processing segment, in which different types of chemical processes including antimicrobial finishing, soil release finishing, water repellent, flame retardant finishing is concerned. So these things you will have to remember, the basic concept, the chemicals required, and so on and so forth. So I think this chemical processing segment you will have to prepare like this way, and then you can do preferably well as far as your GATE future examinations are concerned. In a continuous scouring operation, a desized fabric is dipped into a saturator alkali bath before it enters a J box for scouring. After saturation in the alkali bath, the wet expression increases to 100%. The required alkali concentration in weight per volume of the liquor present in the fabric exiting the saturator is 6%. Considering no liquor interchange in the saturator, the alkali concentration in weight per volume in the percentage in the saturator in integer is, since you know that wet expression of the desized fabric, wet expression of desized fabric is given as 40%, and after saturation it comes out to be 100%. So you can see D-size fabric means it did not have any size content, means it is purely D-size, and after scouring it contains a series of all these alkali concentrations. So what is the increase in alkali concentration? It is 100 minus 40%, 100 minus 40, it is 60%. 60% is the total increase in the alkali concentration. Since you need to calculate in the alkali concentration, weight per volume exiting the saturator is 6%, means after it is done the weight per volume ratio is 6%, and here the increase is 60% total. So alkali concentration, what alkali concentration in percentage? So alkali concentration in saturator in percentage would be 6% is the original alkali concentration that is given upon increase in alkali concentration. This is increase in alkali concentration upon 100. 6 upon 60 into 100, this will come out to be 10%. So 10% is the total increase in integer, so the correct answer is 10. I think this is clear. So 10 is the correct answer. I think this must be clear. So this is how these questions are dealt, and I think you must have understood the basic phenomena, basic questions of all these things. So this is the complete analysis of this GATE 2023 examination. I hope you liked all these videos and the efforts. Please do like and subscribe if you like the content, and also subscribe to the full course as for the better preparation of GATE 2024 and upcoming examination for the GATE. All the best for future examination.